Today we will talk about a very important thing, about our health, namely, about such a serious disease as pancreatic cancer. Health is something we rarely think about until it starts to fail. And when it comes to pancreatic cancer, timely detection of symptoms is literally a matter of life and death. In this video, we will figure out why pancreatic cancer is so dangerous, what are its signs, and what can be done to protect yourself and your loved ones. This knowledge will be the very step that will save someone's life. One of the biggest problems with pancreatic cancer is that it is very difficult to detect it in its early stages. The symptoms that may appear are often very vague, and it is easy to confuse them with something else. Therefore, people do not rush to see a doctor, and the disease remains unnoticed until it is too late. So, let's take a detailed look at 10 key symptoms that may indicate pancreatic cancer. It is important to remember that the presence of one or more of these signs does not always mean cancer, but if they appear, it is a signal that you need to see a doctor urgently. Number 1. Jaundice. Jaundice is when the skin and whites of the eyes turn yellow. This symptom is not a disease in itself, but a sign that something is wrong in the body. Jaundice occurs when a substance called bilirubin accumulates in the blood. It is a yellow pigment that is formed when old red blood cells are destroyed. The pancreas is located next to the bile ducts, through which bilirubin is excreted from the body. If a tumor develops in the pancreas, it begins to press on these ducts or even block them. As a result, bile cannot flow out normally, and bilirubin begins to accumulate in the blood. This causes jaundice. Number 2. Unintentional weight loss. Unintentional weight loss is when a person starts losing weight without even trying to specifically reduce it. The pancreas plays a key role in digestion. It produces enzymes that help break down and digest food, especially fats and carbohydrates. When the pancreas is affected by a cancerous tumor, the production of these enzymes decreases or stops altogether. This means that our body stops fully digesting and assimilating nutrients from food. As a result, even if you eat the same amount as always, the body begins to receive fewer nutrients, which leads to weight loss. In addition, pancreatic cancer often develops a general state of weakness and fatigue. The body spends a lot of energy fighting the disease, which also contributes to weight loss. In addition, due to a constant feeling of nausea or problems with appetite, a person begins to eat less than usual, which further accelerates the process of weight loss. Number 3. Abdominal pain. When it comes to pancreatic cancer, abdominal pain is one of the most common and alarming symptoms. Most often, the pain begins in the upper abdomen, right under the chest. This is the place where the pancreas is located. The pain can be dull, aching, or acute, and it often worsens after eating or when a person lies down. Interestingly, the pain may not be limited only to the abdominal area. It often radiates to the back, especially to the upper part of it, which is sometimes misleading. Because of this, people think that they have problems with the spine or muscles and do not associate it with the pancreas. Sometimes the pain is constant, and sometimes it comes in waves. It depends on the stage of the disease and how the tumor affects the surrounding tissues. People describe it as deep, that is, it comes from within, as it were, and it is difficult to accurately localize it. The pain can also worsen at night or in a supine position, which makes life even more difficult. This symptom is very easy to confuse with other problems such as gastritis, ulcers, or even a simple upset stomach. But if the pain lasts a long time, becomes chronic, or worsens over time, this is already a serious reason to consult a doctor. It is especially important if the pain is accompanied by other symptoms such as weight loss, jaundice, or nausea. Number 4. Digestive problems. The pancreas produces important enzymes that help break down food in the gastrointestinal tract. These enzymes are needed to digest fats, carbohydrates, and proteins so that the body can absorb nutrients. When the pancreas is affected by a tumor, its ability to produce these enzymes is impaired. This leads to the fact that the food is not digested properly. If the food is not digested properly, it causes nausea and sometimes even vomiting. This is especially noticeable after eating when the body is trying to cope with not fully digested food. When the pancreas does not produce enough enzymes, the stool can become light, greasy, and floating. This is due to the fact that fats are not digested and are not digested properly, which makes feces lighter and fatter. Undigested food residues begin to ferment in the intestines, which causes excessive gas formation and bloating. If digestion causes discomfort, this leads to loss of appetite and unwillingness to eat, which further exacerbates the problem since the body does not receive the necessary nutrients. Incomplete digestion of food means that the body does not receive enough energy and nutrients, which leads to a general feeling of fatigue and weakness. Number 5. Loss of appetite. Loss of appetite is when a person loses interest in food and does not want to eat, even if he does not feel full. When the pancreas does not produce enough enzymes to digest food, the food is not digested properly. This causes discomfort, bloating, and nausea, which reduces the desire to eat. If a person has abdominal or back pain, as is the case with pancreatic cancer, eating is associated with unpleasant sensations. This reduces the desire to eat and leads to loss of appetite. The diagnosis of cancer and the general stress of the disease can cause depression and anxiety. These emotional states strongly affect appetite, causing a person not to want to eat even if they physically need food. If the tumor increases, it can put pressure on the stomach and other organs, creating a feeling of satiety even after a small amount of food. Loss of appetite leads to weight loss and insufficient intake of nutrients, which makes the body weaker and more vulnerable. Number 6. Newly acquired diabetes. The pancreas plays a key role in regulating blood sugar levels. It produces insulin, a hormone that helps cells absorb sugar from the blood. When the pancreas is affected by a tumor, its ability to produce insulin is impaired. This leads to an increase in blood sugar levels and the development of diabetes. A tumor of the pancreas can also affect the nerve endings responsible for the functioning of the stomach and intestines. This slows down the emptying of the stomach and disrupts the normal absorption of food, which in turn contributes to the development of diabetes. Pancreatic cancer and other cancers can alter the body's metabolism. This leads to a condition where cells become less sensitive to insulin resistance, which increases blood sugar levels and leads to newly acquired diabetes. Pancreatic tumors can secrete hormones and substances that interfere with the normal operation of insulin. It can also contribute to the development of diabetes. In some cases, cancer can cause autoimmune reactions, in which the immune system begins to attack its own pancreatic cells, disrupting its function and leading to diabetes. Number 7. Itching of the skin. When the liver cannot cope with the withdrawal of bilirubin, a substance formed during the breakdown of red blood cells, it accumulates in the blood. Excess bilirubin settles in the skin, causing itching and jaundice. If the bile ducts are blocked or inflamed, bile accumulates in the liver. This leads to an accumulation of bile acids in the blood, which can also settle in the skin, causing itching. The liver is also involved in regulating hormonal balance. Liver diseases can disrupt this balance, which can manifest as skin symptoms, such as itching. Number 8. Chronic fatigue. Chronic fatigue is when a person feels exhausted almost constantly, despite sufficient rest and sleep. Cancer and its treatment require a lot of energy from the body. Even if you don't do anything, the body works overtime to fight the disease, which causes a feeling of constant fatigue. A tumor of the pancreas affects metabolism, causing disorders in the absorption of nutrients. The lack of necessary substances and energy leads to constant fatigue and weakness. Constant abdominal or back pain that accompanies pancreatic cancer significantly reduces the quality of life and contributes to a feeling of fatigue. When the pain does not allow you to rest or sleep properly, it aggravates the condition. Psychological stress can make physical fatigue even more noticeable. Number 9. Blood clots. Tumors secrete substances that make the blood more sticky and prone to blood clots. This is due to the fact that cancer disrupts the normal balance of substances involved in blood clotting. Cancer causes inflammation in the body. Inflammatory processes can activate blood clotting factors, which increases the risk of blood clots. Tumor cells can also cause inflammation in the surrounding tissues and blood vessels, which contributes to the formation of blood clots. Tumors can grow into the walls of blood vessels or cause them to contract, which disrupts the normal flow of blood and can lead to the formation of blood clots. In addition, some cancer treatments, such as chemotherapy, can damage the walls of blood vessels and increase the risk of thrombosis. If a person with cancer stays in bed for a long time or cannot move, this also increases the risk of blood clots. Lack of physical activity slows down blood circulation, which contributes to the formation of clots. Blood clots lead to serious complications such as thrombophlebitis, pulmonary embolism, or stroke. Number 10. Discoloration of stool and urine. If the stool becomes light or clay-like, it may be a sign that bile is not entering the intestine properly. This is due to blockage of the bile ducts or problems with the pancreas. Bile gives the stool a normal brown color, and its absence leads to a light or whitish color. Dark stools indicate the presence of blood in the upper parts of the gastrointestinal tract, for example, in the stomach or intestines. This may be due to ulcers or inflammatory processes. Black stools, especially if they have an unpleasant odor, can be a sign of internal bleeding, which requires immediate medical examination. The dark color of urine can be a sign of dehydration or liver problems, such as hepatitis or cirrhosis. In the case of liver disease, urine may also turn brown due to the presence of bilirubin, which is usually excreted through bile. Light urine usually indicates good hydration and may be a normal option. However, if the color of the urine is constantly changed to light, and this is accompanied by other symptoms, this may require additional attention. Medical care is the key to effective treatment and preservation of health. Do not ignore the alarming symptoms or postpone a visit to the doctor. The sooner you receive professional help, the more likely you are to receive successful treatment and improve your health. And finally, if the information was useful to you, do not forget to subscribe and like the video, as well as leave a comment. Your feedback is very important to us. Take care of yourself and be healthy.